All right, everybody. Thanks, and happy Friday to you all. Thanks for joining our series, Summer, Thrive, and Survive. And we're here today with Anne Maylette, who's a good friend, a trusted friend, and a good friend in doTERRA as well. And she's here to talk with us about how to take care of some of those bumps and bruises we might encounter in the summertime. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Anne.
Thank you, Laura. And hi, everyone. It's great to be here. I am here, obviously, to talk about bumps and bruises. So let's just quickly run through bumps and bruises. What happens when we bump ourselves against a sharp edge? We're damaging tissue and blood vessels. So blood pools under the skin. It creates that dark blue, dark purple that we call a bruise. And there may be pain and swelling associated with it depending on the severity. So I did this a couple weeks ago, so I'm practiced with the oils that we can use. So the first one I would recommend is lavender. And lavender, I think of all things calming, but which is what I needed when I stubbed my toe badly. But I also think of it as all things skin. So I would immediately apply it to the bruised area. That right away begins the healing process. And lavender is such a diverse, essential oil for health applications that it's, gosh, you can use it for so many things. So with the pain and swelling, we want to get that under control. For that, I would suggest lemongrass, which smells awesome, but has powerful anti-inflammatory as well as analgesic properties. So, we're talking about getting rid of the pain and the swelling. I would pair that with frankincense. Frankincense also has anti-inflammatory properties, but when it's paired with another oil, we're talking about lemongrass, it acts as a driver. So it's important to kind of blend those two together to maximize the anti-inflammatory and the analgesic or pain reliever properties. So, okay, we also want to make sure that we stop the bleeding that's been going on because we injured that area. And I would recommend helichrysum. Helichrysum, it's a little bottle with a hefty price tag. If you don't have this in your medicine chest, I would strongly urge you to include it, save up your money. It is something you'll be reaching for quite often, but helichrysum stops bleeding. I think of it as the oil for wounds, from bruises to cuts to open, quite significant wounds. And this is going to have some powerful healing properties, and that will really make a big impact in stopping any residual bleeding under the skin as well as starting that healing process. Now we want to ramp up the healing process, and we can add cypress. And cypress is, I call it the circulatory essential oil. It promotes healthy circulation. And what we want to do in terms of healing the area is bringing new blood, fresh blood to the area to heal the tissue. So we could be ahead of the game by making up a roller bottle, and then I would have been prepared when I stubbed my own toe. I would probably suggest in a 10 milliliter roller bottle, maybe 8 drops of each of the 5 oils I've mentioned, and that's lavender, lemongrass, frankincense, cypress, and helichrysum, and then fill to the top with fractionated coconut oil and apply at least twice a day. Maybe morning and evening are good times to remember. But I was thinking of something fun to say, and I came up with, there's nothing that advertises that I'm a klutz, like a nice big bruise on my arm or my leg, especially in the summertime. So I'm hoping that all of you will have a bruise and bump-free summer, but we know those things just can't always be avoided. And Laura, did you have anything that you wanted to add?
Yeah,
or help me out?
I just wanted to ask you how the how you recovered from that toe stubbing that you had. So share with us how you use the oils, how many times a day, and what happened.
Well, immediately after I stubbed my toe, after I screamed, I reached for the lavender because I just know that has a lot of healing benefits. And I do think of it for skin, even though this is under the skin, it's still kind of a skin issue. And then I followed it with helichrysum, and lemongrass and frankincense because it really hurt. I actually thought I might have broken a bone. And my goal was to be able to see if I could walk the next day, keep up my daily walking regimen. So I did it right away that night when I stubbed my toe. I did it the next morning. I walk in the afternoon. I actually applied it again during the day. I really wanted to make sure I had success getting my walking shoes on and getting out the door, and I had success. Actually by not the next morning, but the following morning, the color had cleared up, more than 50%. I was even shocked.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
and
that was the helichrysum. I'm sorry, pardon?
How about the discomfort from it? Did that?
Lemongrass and frankincense together were amazing to get rid of the pain. So I could sleep that night.
That's really cool. I'm so glad to hear. I'm not glad to hear that you said so, but I'm glad to hear about your success with the oils and bumps and bruises. And I would just add one more item or one more tip. And that is if you're treating a bruise or a bump, a compress is really a good thing to try too. So it's a really good idea to alternate warm and cold. And so you can just use a washcloth and you can put those oils on the washcloth, or you can put them directly on your skin and you can do a cool compress for about 10 minutes and then alternate with a warm compress, and switching it up back and forth really, I think, will bring some good results too. So anyway, those are two tips. Making a roller bottle and using a compress are two good ways to use these oils for bumps and bruises. And I just want to thank you so much for joining us in our Summer Survive and Thrive series. And thanks a lot for your effort, Anne.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right. Goodbye, everybody. Have a great weekend.